Hey everybody, welcome to Zenny62 tonight. I'm not going to be on long, but I want to read to you um, my, well, analysis of, I was going to say read, but I'll be using the same sentence, same word in this one sentence at the same time, right? Twice, in other words. But on the sale of the bonds for the Oakland Raiders Las Vegas NFL Stadium that occurred on Wednesday, or if you like today, if you're on the West Coast, right? So this is what I've reported and what I'm going to explain to you. And I'm also going to show you. First of all, the Clark County financial managers and planners led by Jessica Colvin, who is the county's chief financial officer, work with 7 banks to sell bonds to institutional investors worth $645,150,000. $645,150,000, or if you like, 645.15 million. Now, where does that leave us? The ballyhoo is that the subsidy as a whole is 750 million. And the word on the street that Clark County wants you to believe is that the Raiders got all of that $750 million, okay? Now, here's the truth. Of the 745 million, there was approximately, if you take the 645 million that's left over and you plug it into what was needed, all right, there leaves a gap of $55,205,756, or 55 million. And that's based on 750 million minus the 645,000 million, minus the 645 million, 150,000 I told you about, or $104,850,000. That's the gap. Now, of that gap, only 49,644,244 has been raised. Let me show you what I'm talking about rather than looking down, okay? This is based on the spreadsheet I've always used, this one, okay? This is a spreadsheet that has gotten me through the day, as I say. I'll show you how this works once again if you haven't seen it. This is the average bond debt services for revenue test is what I call. So based on this, what I call Raider bond calculator, this is, excuse me, it wasn't even that. It was a different number. It was actually 600. I'll just type it in for you because it's 645, 645 million, then 15000, not quite, yeah, there, okay? Now the interest rate was different. The interest rate was you can change that, boom, 3.94%, okay? So with that, this is what we get. We get monthly bond repayment of $3,057,770.40, right? So we take that number and plug it in over here, okay? This is the test, all right? What that gets us times 1.5 debt service is this, okay? So the question is, based on the amount of actual revenue that came through starting in March 2017, would this clear? And as you can see, surplus is in black, deficit is in red. The answer is, for the most part, no. That gap is for January, and then the $226,334, that 334.40 is for February of this year. The answer is no. Okay. So what does that leave the Raiders? It leaves the Raiders, excuse me, with this $55,205,756 gap, which is going to take them at the current rate of growth, or the current rate of monthly revenue from the stadium hotel tax, 13.34 months to collect. All right. So the clock is on, and here's the worst news about this. First of all, the Raiders will get that $645 million through the Stadium Authority. $645.15 million. Okay. Now it's even short of the $650 million the Stadium Authority itself, through Clark County, because of Clark County's debt policy, was to give the Raiders. I think they actually shorted the Raiders by that much. Okay, and the problem is that amount, that $650 million, was always spelled out, and I pointed this out to Jessica Colvin, the county's chief financial officer, in their own debt policy back in 2016. And then I pointed her to page 69. She pointed me to page 110, where it said that they intended to give the entire $750 million. Well, okay, you didn't. Your own debt management policy said that you were only going to commit $650 million to the stadium. And frankly speaking, you guys didn't even do that. Let's just be honest here, okay? So where does that leave the Raiders? It leaves the Raiders with a $55 million gap, not 50, $55 million. The average monthly rate of collection was $4,137,020.33. Okay, that was the average last month. Now, for those of you screaming, 1 October, 1 October, 1 October, I remind you that starting in June of last year, for the next 9 straight months to this point, every single month of visitor rates for Las Vegas and Clark County for hotels was less than the previous year's month. That's right. It's on an ending string. And 1 October only made the gap worse. Okay? I've talked before about the reasons for this development, but overall, the trend is pointing down, not up, down. What does this spell? It spells this. First of all, in order to get around what would obviously be a pretty much right out of the gate problem in terms of bond debt overtaking hotel tax rates, because the hotel tax rate is too small. Remember, I kept screaming for 2 years. It should be 1%. It should be 1.4%, not 88% of 1%. In order to get around that, do you know what was done by the Minders guy, Hobbs, of Hobbs Ong, friend, and Jessica Colvin, the head of the county's financial management operation? Do you know what they did? They designed in a non-linear, not a level debt service, but one that increases over time, which means it started off lower than the average of 4,586,655. It started off lower than that. How much lower, I don't know, because I haven't gotten the schedule yet. It's out there. But then it goes above that That's the scary part, folks. It goes above this at some point in the future. And I'm dying to get a hold of that schedule to see at what point that is, because if we have a recession, or if negative rate of growth forces continue with respect to visitation to Las Vegas, guess what? That timetable that it goes that it clears that average gets closer and closer to where we are today. What does that mean? It means that they've tried to foist this problem off to Clark County taxpayers in the future. Ooh, that's dirty. Ooh, that's bad. Ooh, that's nasty. Ooh, with the proviso that, oh, the bond is going to be fine because we've got the general fund. Remember, I kept telling you, they're going to rest this bond on the backs of the Clark County taxpayer. And the Clark County taxpayer didn't ask for it, didn't vote for it, and it's huge. Raiders deal 2, folks, has just been set in motion. And with that, I say, welcome to Zenny 62, and now I'll look at your comments. Oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Barry Lee says, showed my cat Charlie this stream and asked him what he thought of the Raiders moving Las Vegas, and he threw up a hairball. Cats are so smart. Crawford says, Vegas is about to go broke with this. This is horrible. It's straight up horrible. This is not, Malcontent says, greats keep spreading the word. Oh, I'm missing a lot of your comments. Hello, everybody. Hello, Barry Lee. Ed says, bad deal, bad deal, bad deal. It's going to fold, Zen. It's not going to fold. What's going to happen? You know what? I honestly don't know what's going to happen when they finally realize that, hey, look, there's a problem here. At some point, this is going to hit the fan. Without question, this is definitely going to hit the fan. And it's going to hit the fan for 2 simple reasons. First of all, again, the hotel stadium tax rate of 88,100, this is 1%, is too small. Second, it's going to hit the fan because they're using the Clark County General Fund, the same general fund that replenishes the education, funds education. They're using that as their backstop. What does a backstop mean? It means that if I don't have money from that revenue stream from the tax itself that I'm collecting, the new stadium tax, it means I'm dipping into the same fund that's used for education and services, like fire. That's what that means. That's what that means. And worse, the county had no opportunity to vote on it. Very similar to the deal that brought the Raiders back. However, it's many times larger. Our deal was $222 million. This one is over double that. Okay? It's over double that. Now you would say, why did they spend so much time? Why did they tell us this? Because, I've said it before and I'll say it again, they're selling a financial instrument to get a fee. It's just like selling a television with a remote control, right? They're going to tell you all the positive aspects of the television and none of the negative ones, and they don't want somebody like me pointing them out. That's why. Bad. It's shameful. And it's shameful for the press, particularly the Las Vegas Sun and the Las Vegas Review-Journal and the Nevada Independent, to just basically play the blind part, deaf, dumb, and blind. Just not ask any questions at all. Bad stuff. Bad stuff. Now, Barry Lee says, what's funny is the $55 million gap will be even larger if the Raiders have to pay up from the lawsuit. That's true. Hey, Malcolm, how are you? Crawford says, Barry and company, stay tuned for this. Ed says, I think the suit will be filed, sir. I was told heavy hitters are involved. We won't go away without a fight. Yeah, that's, I'm a little concerned about the county. I think the county council's a little too conservative, but we definitely have a great case. And The county council is Donna Ziegler. If you want to call Donna Ziegler and say, hey, Donna Ziegler, get behind this matter of the city of Oakland and the Raiders and possibly, filing a lawsuit to right things, you can call the county council's office for Alameda. Barber says, if we're going to go down, let's go down swinging. I agree. Oh, I don't think we're going to go down. Ed says, yes, 74, fight. Malkinson says, if you want that to happen, call and or email the Oakland City Council to tell them what you want to do. Yeah, that's 510-238, and that's 3266. That's Oakland City Council. There, right there, okay? Ed says, we took them back and that's how they treat us. Yeah. And Ed says, Malkinson, I have strength in numbers. Malkinson says, great. Keep spreading the word. And then Barry Lee says, what's more proof that Vegas doesn't know what they're doing is look at the Rams Stadium, and Vegas says it's going to be open in 2020. I don't think so. Construction takes time. It does. It does. Yeah, so this is, anybody issue a tweet, by the way. If you issue a tweet, please hashtag Raiders, okay? Hey, Joe Santos, how you doing? John Santos, how are you? Hope everybody is doing well out there. Yeah, this is really a ugly. Malkinson says that it takes time and money, but most important, information. It really takes information, okay? For some particular reason, is this available? Am I having a video issue here? I guess not. Okay. For a time, it said this video is unavailable. I thought, huh? What? So, I'm just asking. So anyway, it says 21 watching now. That was weird. Like I said, there's always somebody trying to mess with these things. Oh, video's good? Okay, awesome. Awesome. Cool. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so take a look at what's written about this. Oh, by the way, hey, Melvin, how are you? I haven't seen you in some time. Melvin Lovejoy reports. He says, it said that for me, but comes right back on. Yeah, that was weird. John Santos says, sad to see Raiders tweeting for Golden Knights. The Bay Area backlash is awesome. Oh, you mean on Twitter, John? John, is that what's going on? The Raiders are tweeting for the Golden Knights and not for the Sharks? So the Oakland Raiders, even though they're in Oakland, are dissing the San Jose Sharks. Whoa, that's bad. This is a textbook example of leaving ugly out the door. Instead of being magnanimous, oh no, they have to burn bridges. I mean, think about it. Here's how ridiculous that is. What state in all the United States has the highest rate of visitation to Las Vegas? It's California. And here you think the Raiders, if you listen to Raiders president Mark Bourdain, want their own fans to come and, buy tickets and PSLs and all that. So why not be nice, right? But no, the Raiders can't do that. The Raiders have to go all in for Las Vegas, which is much smaller and less capable of buying the PSLs and season tickets than the home where they were born. That's bad. Complete bad, okay? John says, even got 49ers fans saying, how low can you go, Raiders? Wow. Malkinson says, John, relax. Golden Knights playing right now, but Sharks' first playoff game is tomorrow. Yeah, but the online battle is interesting. Corvette says, Steve Sisolak posted a pic of him and Mark Davis on Twitter. I missed that one. I'm not sure that's going to work well for Sisolak in the election. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that, you know. Take this video blog, put it on your Facebook page, put it on your Twitter page, put it on your LinkedIn, Pinterest, spread it around. Let people know the truth about the deal. Use the hashtag Vegas. Let them know, because a lot of people in Clark County don't. And yeah, John, you are right. That is bad form. See, now I want to check this out myself. I mean, at the risk of making myself sick to the stomach, look, that's all a terrible, terrible set of things to happen. The Oakland Raiders tweeting against their own in their own backyard, which means that, and you know what? Here's the other thing. The other blockbuster that I'm going to put out is that the Raiders still have not at all informed the Oakland, Alameda County Joint Powers Authority of their decision regarding the rent issue, okay? Which means only one thing. The Raiders are plotting something. If it works out, they will be playing someplace else in 2019. Just where? I don't know. Sam Boyd Stadium? Maybe there's a plan to refurbish Sam Boyd finally, right, for 1 year. Wouldn't surprise me. I doubt it, but it wouldn't. That would have to be a good $40 million expenditure by somebody for a stadium they're going to use for 1 year. Wow. Wow. So let me see here. Oh, let me see. Raiders. There's Oakland Raiders. I'm tweeting this, and it says, football's just around the corner, Raider Nation. And here we go. This is what Joe is talking about. Take a look at this. Look at this. It all starts tonight. Look at that. Vegas born. The Raiders Vegas born. That's bad. Okay, let's see here. Let's see here. Replying to Raiders, 66 mob. Thumbs up. So, hey, Golden Knights, y'all got any more of those bandwagon seats? That's hilarious. Look at this. Replying, San Jose Sharks replying to the Raiders. This is classic. The Raiders, look at this. The San Jose Sharks are asking, what is you doing? This says it all right here. What is you doing? And that's Marshawn Lynch. Oh, I got to stop right there. That takes it. The San Jose Sharks responding with Money Lynch. And what is you doing? That takes it. That takes it. The Raiders could not be running a dumber PR campaign than they are right now. They are intent on pissing people off. Crawford says that backdoor jab on Twitter, the Raiders supporting the Golden Knights, is a bad idea. That can used perceptually bad, especially in a potential lawsuit. Barry Lee says, now that's just a slap in the face. The JPA needs to kick them out ASAP. Okay? Barry Lee said, stupid is as stupid does. I completely agree. Wow. And Erias Cali says, I checked the tweet from the Raiders. Didn't see the Raiders mentioning the Golden Knights. Look again. I just showed it. And he said, I did see Sunday Night Football on NBC tweet a picture of Mark at the Golden Knights game. No, go back to the Raiders tweet. We all saw it. Go back there. Take a look. I just posted it here. You can rewind if and take a look at it. The Raiders not only clearly tweeted it out there, but the San Jose Sharks Twitter account said, With a picture of Marshawn in sunglasses, you know, like kind of like this, all right? Look at this. Everybody tell Urias to go back and look. He's like, you know, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? You know? I mean, hey, what you doing? I can't believe it. I mean, just the Raiders would actually do this sort of thing. But they did. I mean, they deserve to get massively trolled now and forever for that. Woof Woof says, Oakland needs its own hockey team. The Raiders never wished the SF Giants good luck the last time they were in the playoffs. But this is different. Okay? The Raiders did wish the A's luck, but this is the San Jose Sharks, the SF Bay Area's only hockey team. And yet, the Raiders would root for the Golden Knights, Las Vegas only hockey team, and their noon team. Okay. And not show any love for the Sharks? That is wrong. There is no way to cut it. It's just other than wrong. That's it. Okay? It. Carver says, I hope players retaliate in fun. The Raiders players at the Sharks and Warriors. And Joe Santos says, no class, at least whoever controls the Twitter. Kevin KD, how you doing? Kevin says, the Raiders are acting as if they already have Vegas in the bag. Well, they're acting like, they're acting like not only that, but they're acting like they don't care about how we feel in the Bay Area at all. They're quite literally taunting the Bay Area collectively is what they're doing. Black Lion says, Woof Woof says, bring back the Oakland Seals. Black Lion Supreme says, and there it is, Oakland wanting a hockey team, shaking my head. Nothing wrong with that. We had a hockey team, Black Lion. So Kevin KD says, now they're getting some money from Clark County. They think they're all Vegas now. Yeah, watch that blow up in their faces. Corvette says, Mark Davis has front row Golden Knight seats. Hope a hockey puck makes it too. I'm not going to repeat that. I'm not going to repeat that one. I don't hope that. I don't hope anything bad happens to anybody physically at all. I don't hope anything bad happens to anybody. In fact, the only thing I'm pointing out in terms of bad happening is what's obviously coming down the pike. Financially. That's it. Physically? No. Barry Lee says, with that tweet, you would think it would light a fire under Oakland and file a lawsuit. Well, they just saw it. Kevin KD says, athletics won't retaliate. They are playing the wishes of the people who sign their checks, talking about the athletes. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Particularly on a situation like this. It's kind of like, well, geez, pay me, right? This is bad, and I don't know how many times I can say it's bad, and it should be noted as by every news media organization in the Bay Area is just simply wrong. It just should. Rick Gray says, what is it? Let's see here. Rick Gray says, Sharks own this territory. Coliseum is built for basketball. Sightlines will be like Barclays Center. When will everyone figure out that the Raiders are using the Bay Area? Me? Kick them out. Black Lion Supreme says, no. I don't want something bad to happen to Mark Davis. I just want the Raiders to stay in Oakland with or without him. I understand, okay. John Santos says, I just hope a lawsuit could get them to leave the name in colors. Yeah, because they're not acting like the Raiders of Oakland, are they? In fact, that might be appropriate. You know why? In fact, no, it is appropriate because the Oakland Raiders, the silver and black, would not treat Oakland this way. But a team leaving and going to Las Vegas and charging up the yin-yang for tickets and PSLs, oh, they definitely do that. Absolutely. Woof, woof. And welcome to Zenny62, since this just jumped from 30, we went from 19 visitors to 25, 25 to now 42, like that. Bing, zing. Welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sean Grogan, nice to see you. Kevin KD asked, so do people, excuse me, I've got to go back here because the comments are coming fast. Barely says, after the stream, I'll leave a nice comment on the third Twitter page. And Wolf Wolf says, Rick Gray, I don't think Bay Area would ever get a second NBA team because of King's proximity to the Bay Area. That would be an interesting three-team nexus, though. A lot of interesting battles. Kevin KD asks, so do people want the Raiders out of Oakland or Mark Davis out of Oakland? If I had my magic wand to wave, I would want Mark Davis to show the appropriate respect and deference to Oakland, stop everything he was doing in Vegas, and restart here in Oakland. That's what I want. But that's not going to happen because since 2011, Mark Davis has had his eye on moving the Raiders out of Oakland in some kind of way. He has never been singularly committed to keeping the Raiders in Oakland, ever. And I say singularly, I mean without having one eye elsewhere like San Antonio or Carson or Las Vegas, okay, or Los Angeles. Because before Carson, there was Los Angeles. 2011 said, hey, LA. And then he repeated that, I believe, in 2012, didn't in 2013, and then, of course, the talk of San Antonio came up, and, we went from there. We went from San Antonio to Carson to Las Vegas. Oakland has never got the respect of the Raiders' full, undivided attention, ever. Under Mark Davis. Wufu says Oakland should focus on professional hockey. Black Lion says, and I challenge 5 people in here to name the hockey team that was in Oakland, the Seals. Our city has changed in more ways than one. But you know what, though? In that, Black Lion, our city's demographics have changed in such a way that I believe that hockey will be more popular in Oakland than ever before. You have to remember, at the time, Oakland had a hockey team. In terms of population, Oakland was roughly 1/2 the size it is today. So we have a larger population base, not to mention that we are also the center city geographically in the San Francisco Bay Area, right? Center in terms of, where we're positioned, the fact that all the freeways come through us, everything else, okay? So, going back to your comments here, Black Lion says he's born and raised in Oakland, been a hockey player all my life. Bring it, but you're right, Oracle is terrible for hockey. Yep. Rick Gray says every Bay Area fan, Raiders fan, needs to boycott and burn their Raiders gear like San Diego Chargers did. And then Malcontent says, Corvette says, want Oakland Raiders in Oakland, no Mark Davis. Kevin KD says, if Mark Davis loves the Golden Knights so much, then he should rename the team and copy the color of the Golden Knights. And Black Lion says, what was the name of that team, Malcontent? Malcontent says, nothing. Yeah. And Malcontent says, Kevin KD, he thinks that most people want honesty and transparency, but it's too late for that from Mark Davis. And we have, let's see here. Black Lion says, let's see here. This is going back. Yeah, people just want their home team minus Mark Davis. Kevin KD says Tom Kohler. So UNLV can jump ship anytime they want, but the Raiders are stuck with a deal. Hilarious. Rick Gray says, I thought the talk was for a second NHL team in the Bay Area. I had heard that before. Coliseum was remodeled for the Warriors' use. Ice hockey is an afterthought, says Rick Gray saying this, for the Oracle Arena. And then 5,000 to 7,000 seats would be unusable. Kevin KD says, Malcontent, I've learned that honesty and transparency is rooted in respect. Mark Davis has none for Oakland. It's like he's Ben Affleck, and Oakland is Jennifer Gardner. Ooh. Woof Woof says, I just hate the thought of Oracle Arena not having sports. You know, me too. I think that would be a great waste, and I believe that Oracle Arena could be further modified for hockey. Bradley says, at this point, could a lawsuit be filed to force the team to stay in Oakland, or would it be for monetary damages and to keep the name and colors? Well, you can file a lawsuit for whatever we want, right? But we have the best chance for monetary damages. I am personally not in favor of the whole team and name and colors thing, because it opens up a battle with Mark Davis, who owns the rights to that and started the Raider image and everything. And there are a lot of reasons why, even though I think it should be legally analyzed, and I'm happy to be wrong, I don't think we'd win. But in monetary damages for lack of good faith, I think we could win so much money that it would force, in terms of, you know, trying to settle things, it could force that. Okay, it could force a settlement which might lead to, well, it would lead in a number of different directions. Sometimes in order to get what you want, you can't always directly try to get that thing, right? But Barry Lee says, yeah, I just answered that question there. And Kevin KD says the Warriors won't succeed in San Francisco. I disagree there. I only disagree because of the fact that the Warriors have a solid brand. They attract a lot of people from San Francisco. There's a hunger for a new arena over there, like nobody's business. And, you know, it just shifts where people go. If the Warriors continue to be competitive, they get, for example, LeBron James to come to inaugurate their new arena, that'll be huge. No, I can't see the Warriors failing over there. I have to be honest. I can't see it. And it's not to say they would do well in Oakland. I believe they would. It's really sad that Ezra didn't get a chance, Ezra Rapport, to build that downtown Warriors arena that he wanted to build way back in the early 90s, okay? Early to mid 90s. He was the Oakland assistant city manager at the time. We're really suffering from that. We're really suffering from a lot of things we should have done then and didn't do. That was a nice period. One thing we did do is we got the Raiders back, but even then, we designed in a program, what's called a non-recourse loan, which really isn't a loan, it was a payment, but it's still ballooning. I've talked about it before. But the payback was that the Raiders would continue to play at the Coliseum. Translation, if they relocate, hey, we got a case. And I believe we do. And there are others who agree with me. So, E-Rise says, now with this landslide of disrespect from the Raiders and Mark Davis continuing, for example, the Raiders tweet in support of the Golden Knights, do you see the Raiders still playing the Coliseum next season? No, I don't. I think the Raiders are sending a clear message that they're out of here past this season. I mean, look, how many times can they do it? How many signals can they give us? They have not responded to the JPA's offer for 2019 or 2020 season. They treat a number of people like they don't want to talk to them anymore, including myself. Mark Davis does. And then they tweet this support for the Golden Knights, but not for the San Jose Sharks. I mean, what else do they have to do? What else will they do? Okay? Everybody, I say this, keep your eyes open and your ears about the Raiders. Anything you hear that may lead to news about where the Raiders are trying to set up their 2019 home. Something is going on out there. Something is going on. Kevin KD says, doesn't California already have 3 NHL teams? So, always have more. Black Lion says, excuse me, Black Lion says, no, but it won't be the same in San Francisco and they will lose fans like myself. Woof Woof says, Rick Gray, I think the Coyotes are the team most likely to relocate. Rick Gray says, Sharks own the region. Would Warriors grab another NBA team and who? Who is the weakest NBA team? In what sense, Rick Gray? Attendance? Value? The Bay Area is big enough to have two NBA teams without question. I mean, look at New Orleans in terms of metropolitan area size is what, 1.3 million? And they have the Pelicans. If they have that, then we can certainly handle another NBA team in the Bay Area. Easily. Easily. Fred Walker says, debt is on City. City had refinanced the bond in second year. Hey, Fred, nice to see you again. Kevin KD says the Utes should head to Quebec City. John Santos says they're gone. Woof Woof says Kevin KD, Oakland Coyotes sounds really cool. I like Oakland Hustlers. No, I'm not going to say Oakland haters. Kevin KD says, I think the Raiders are being disrespectful and arrogant. You think? You think? Rick Gray says, that could happen, KD. Kevin KD. Kevin KD says, Quebec City would be a better hockey town. Malcontent says, sorry, Fred, excuse me, you're missing the point and many relevant facts. Rick Gray says, San Antonio, Alamo Dome. Kevin KD says, Quebec Nordics 2.0. Rick Gray says, value in attendance. Kevin KD says, I think the Grizzlies, Pelicans, and Jazz. John Santos says, Oakland Rebels. He likes that. That's the, the most recent. Oh, Kevin KD says, I think the Grizzlies. I got that one. All right. Yeah. That was the most recent comment. I'm going to have to bug out of here in 5 minutes because I got to wake up really early. I'm going to resume this conversation tomorrow, okay? Because this is a hot one, all right? And I'm going to use the same title, or maybe I won't use the same title. I won't. I'm going to leave this one for this, okay? But what I'll do is I'll pick up on the theme of the Raiders, the Oakland Raiders disrespecting Oakland on the way to Las Vegas. Oakland Raiders diss the Bay Area. That's it. Oakland Raiders diss the Bay Area on the way to Las Vegas. There's your headline for tomorrow. There's your headline for tomorrow because that's exactly what's happening, right? Malcontent says, Z, did we ever find anything further on the Raiders parking at Bali High or anywhere? I haven't seen anything on it, no. And I think that whole Bali High thing was just much ado about nothing because of the lawsuit. And ML Scott says, I'm going to keep saying this. I hate how MD treated you at the owners meeting. And I will say this. That was the first time it was on video. And I talked about it. But it's not the first time it happened. The first time it happened was October 2016 at the NFL owners meeting in Houston. And Mr. Davis, Mark, I went down to talk with him after John Clayton had come upstairs and he was saying talking about how Jerry Jones was trying to gin up support for the Raiders going to Vegas, right? And I talked to Jerry that same meeting. He told me that he thought that Sheldon Adelson would be a great NFL owner. Anyway, I went down to talk to Mark, and Mark turns, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. Okay? So it's not the first time. And I will say this, having said that, nobody else in the Raider organization has treated me like that. Not PR Director Will Kiss, not General Manager Reggie McKenzie. And you would say, why did I mention Will Kiss over McKenzie? Because he's the PR guy. He works for the media, right? Will has never treated me with anything but the greatest degree of class and respect, and I've always treated him with nothing less than the greatest degree of class and respect. That's it. Nobody. Nobody's done that except Mark Davis. That's it. Everybody else is great. I've said it before, and I'll say that again, okay? So, E-Rice says, yeah, that MD being disrespectful to you, Zen. Irked me seeing how he handled himself, classless. Again, it's not the first time. And I remember when Mark Bedane was named president of the Raiders, and Mark was answering questions to the right of the stage, and I went up, and even then, I think this is on camera, I was asking a question, he was just dismissing me. Okay? That was 2014. That was January of 2014. All right? I mean, I can just tick it off the instances. Later that year in Buckhead, excuse me. In fact, let me think about it in Buckhead. That was 2014. In 2013, yeah, in 2013, I met him in Buckhead. Let me think about this now. Yeah, that was 2000. No, Del Rio was hired in 2015, right? Yeah, 16, 17. Del Rio was hired. It was 2015 that Bourdain was named president. And it was at that meeting that Davis just acted like a... And then the irony is that after I stuck around, and after the press conference, I sat down to talk with him. He was kind of nervous, and I was determined to just introduce myself and talk and get to know him and ignore that he was being uncomfortable, because I couldn't figure out why he was being uncomfortable. You know, I still to this day don't know what that is, where that's coming from. He's the guy who almost brought the Super Bowl to Oakland, which would have made a lot of money for the Raiders in 2000, for the 2005 Super Bowl, who's done a number of things, right? And then, ironically enough, later that same year, he asked me to form a stadium plan for him. Remember that? Okay, so my point is, you would say, if he did that to you before, why did you call it out now? Some people just get tired, and I just simply got tired of being disrespected. I am, by nature, a nice person. Everybody has a point where they say, you know what? You can take body blows only so long before you turn around and say, hey, you're doing this, and you know what? What you're doing is wrong, and it's a crime. And that's essentially what I was doing. Okay? You always reward nice people. When people are nice to you, don't be mean back to them. No reason. I don't have to agree with it. And Mark Davis said, not everybody agrees with my Vegas decision. I don't. I have the right to disagree. All right? Mark Byman says, Mark Davis doesn't want to hear the truth because he can't handle the truth. M.L. Scott says, Zinni never disrespected or talked down to MD or admonished anyone who ever did. Thank you. I never did. Never. And I never will. It's wrong. And two wrongs don't make a right. That's how it was. I was trying to explain, Rick Rice used to hover around here, and Rick Rice used to stay up until wee hours in the morning thumbing down my videos. I knew it was Rick Rice all the time. Then he doesn't show up anymore. I always had a little track on him because it was a little weird, right? Anyway, Tom Kohler says, can it be that Mark Davis treated you like this because you're black? That is such a shame. I thought about that because because someone would say, oh, no, because Mark Davis is roommate of Cliff Branch, and, Mark Davis is nice to this braider and that braider. But then think about it. All the black folks I've considered, and I don't know everybody in Mark Davis's orbit, so I'm happy to be wrong, but all the black folks I think of are all people who are under the Raiders' control at some point, So, I can't think of anybody. I'm trying. It's like, I can't, But here's the thing. I think there is one person that I think of that I think would buck that trend, and that's Fred Blackwell. And I remember when I was talking with Mark Bourdain about the changing of the guard and leadership in Oakland, and Mark said, we miss Fred Blackwell. Fred Blackwell is now this chief executive officer of the San Francisco Foundation. Great man. And he was the director of economic development for Oakland, who rose to the title of assistant city manager, and then for a moment city administrator, under Gene Kwan. And then he saw the handwriting on the wall, realized that Kwan was going to be on her way out, and figured, hey, you know what, I better form my own exit plan. He found a great job where he's still running the San Francisco Foundation. Mark Bourdain had great things to say about Fred Blackwell who's black. So how was Blackwell's relationship with Mark Davis? I would have to assume by extension it was just fine. So there's an example. All right. Unless somebody comes along to prove that I'm wrong. I'm really trying to find a place where I'm wrong. That's all. Because you don't want to say that about anybody. You just don't. But yet it does look like that. Okay. And my own experience with the Raiders is, hey, look, they're nice to you when they need something. Right? So, I mean, no matter how you slice it, it's a bad look. It just is. Black Lion says Mark Davis went to Piedmont High and acts like some of his brothers took his Raiders hat. But Mark Davis is an only child, like me. He doesn't have brothers. Hey, John Marks, how you doing? Kevin KD says it's the typical behavior of white people with power, influence, position, and corporate power structure. Kevin KD says he's nice to black people who don't challenge him. Could be. I think that Kevin KD says, were you critical of his attempt to relocate to San Antonio as well? Because that was around, I didn't take it seriously. Except, I tried to find out news about it. I heard that I broke the story that the mayor of San Antonio was at the Coliseum. Put that out there by video blog. Got a tip. But did I take seriously the Raiders were actually going to do it? I never once did. No, not at all. Vegas is different because, hey, look, you got a guy, initially had a guy, perhaps still do, behind it who's worth $30 billion, right? So, yeah. So there you go. Now, let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I get, Kevin KD says, I didn't take San Antonio seriously either. And Rick Gray says, don't treat, sorry, Rick, he says, don't treat, oops, excuse me, sorry. Don't treat blanks with any respect. He didn't treat you with respect at all. He doesn't. No, he didn't. Ever. He didn't. But again, two wrongs don't make a right. Okay? So I am not going to stoop to conquer. John Marks says he treated San Antonio a little seriously, to which ML Scott laughs out loud. And Kevin KD didn't treat Vegas seriously until he heard Adelson was involved. He speaks for me. Tom Kohler says, hi, John Marks. The Raiders sold all of their bonds in a few hours. Hey, Tom Kohler, do you realize that they only sold $645,150,000 worth and not $750 million and not even $650 million? And do you realize that leaves the Raiders with $55 million they still have to scrounge up through the stadium tax revenue they're going to be collecting, which is going to take them another 13 and a half months to get, or thereabouts? Ha! Okay. Oh, and by the way, this whole idea of bonds selling in a few hours, big deal. Boy, you know what's hilarious is the number of people who are very obviously new to this stuff. Like Rich Villoda and Mitch Akers of the Las Vegas Review-Journal and Las Vegas Sun, respectively, telling me that I'm wrong and that the guaranteed maximum price was $1.8 billion rather than $1,398,000,000. And here, my background's in urban planning, architecture, all the way through junior high school. Not only did I form the effort to bring the Super Bowl to Oakland, we lost to Jacksonville, but I worked with Anderson Consulting Team and called the construction guys and everything to get bids, sound familiar, on what would it cost to build the temporary third deck housing the bulk of the additional 12,614 seats we needed to host the Super Bowl. I even had to call Biggie Crane and arrange with them a method to produce a temporary hole on the east side of the Coliseum so that we could, at that point, have the proper ingress and egress get the equipment for halftime in and out quickly, right? I did all that stuff. If Lord ever do this, that's the sort of thing. Nope. Did he even think to ask me? Oh no. He's Oakland. They couldn't even bring themselves to use my name. Now could you ask, is that a black thing? Because I'm black? Hey, could be. They refer to Ronnie Lott as a black investor. Just pointing that out. I hope that they are among the 52 people watching this right now, because that was bad. They could not bring themselves to say, hey, Sydney's had experience with the Raiders, and let's ask him how it happened. He's been around, and he's still around. Except they sent Ed Graney. He gave a great interview. I gave a great interview to him. They never used one of it. None. All right. I got to go, okay? There's 53 of you here. I'd love to stay on until the numbers dwindle and everything, but I got to wake up early for my mom. So I got to get going, and I'm going to say tomorrow I'll be back, able to spend more time, hopefully. But thank you all. Thank you, Wolf Wolf. Thank you, Kevin KD. Thank you, Rick Gray. Thank you, Tom Kohler. Thank you, Corvette. Thank you, John Marks. Thank you, Barry Lee. Thank you, Crawford. Love, peace, and soul. Thank you to Albert 106. Good night. Thank you. There's all 52 of you here. Rob Iman. Good night. Anybody out there who hasn't raised their hand? Oh, there's 50. So 52 of you. It's pretty good. Dilly dilly. It's a dilly dilly. This is Rick Gray. Thank you, Rick Gray. Malcontent. Thank you. And Malcontent, thank you for the email, by the way. I meant to answer you back. Thank you very much. Tom Kohler, thank you. You got it. Again, man. Joby Fernandez, good. Hey, man. Nice to see you here. Thank you. Joseph Binsman, thank you. Everybody, let's go Sharks. Donis, again, thank you. You're late, but Radio Kuko, you're here. Good night. I'll be back. I gotta go. Barry Lee, thank you again for the tweets. Thank you, everybody. All right. The Knights won. Go Knights. The Knights won. Go Knights. Hey, I'm not against the Knights, but I'm not against the Sharks either. And the Raiders are in the Bay Area. They should never forget that. Now, the Raiders can make up for this by tomorrow tweeting in favor of the Knights. Excuse me, not the Knights, but there I go. Tweeting in favor of the Sharks. Go Sharks. The A's beat the Dodgers. Thank you, John, for prayers for my mom. They are not only are they much appreciated, they are working. The Lord is coming down and blessing us through all of you, and for that I am eternally grateful. All right, I got to go, everybody. Go Sharks. Go Knights. That's the way it should be. Go Sharks and go Knights. See you all. See ya. Okay, take care. Thumbs up. Way up. See ya.